In this video, I will be teaching you how to make a baby crinkle book using sublimation and sewing. If you want to learn how to do it, just keep watching. If you're new to my channel, my name is Leslie. My channel is all about crafting on a budget. I do Cricut, sublimation, and now sewing videos. So if any of those things interest you, please consider subscribing, joining my YouTube family, and let's jump into this video. Okay, so when you're designing your files, your first page should be your back and your front. I know you're gonna think that it should be your front on this side and your back on this side, but you gotta remember that it's gonna be mirrored. And so when you mirror it, your front's gonna end up being in the back. So put your back on this side, on the left side, and your front on the right side, and that way when you mirror it, your front will be on the right side of the fabric. Your second page should be your first page, whatever is going to be on your first page of your crinkle book when you open it, the very first page on the left, and then whatever is going to be on the last page on the right. Your third page should be whatever is going to be your second page, and then whatever is going to be your fifth page. Now again, remember that it's going to be mirrored, right? So put your fifth page here and your second page there, so that when you mirror it, it's on the correct side. And then for your last page, it should be pages 3 and 4, which is going to be the middle of your crinkle book when you open it. So I made my outer pages bigger than my inner pages, that way when it closes it fits nicer, and it's not all struggling. If you make them the same size, the middle pages are going to come out more than the front and back cover. So keep that in mind as well. I made mine with the mindset that I knew the fabric was going to shrink a little bit, and it was going to end up being 6 inches. So whatever size you want your crinkle book to be, measure up a little bit. Maybe you have to play around a little bit with your fabric to know how much it's going to shrink. So I sized mine up 1 inch bigger than what I actually wanted it to be, and it ended up shrinking that inch. So just play around with your fabric so that you know how big you need to make your design. For this project, you're gonna need some heat tape. Heat tape dispensers are always handy. It's always linked down below. You're gonna need some thread. I'm just doing white thread because you're really just not going to see it. It's gonna be on the inside. You need a rotary cutter or some fabric scissors. We might use both in this video, so those are handy to have. You're gonna need a lint roller to lint roll your fabric. Some of this crinkle paper, this is going to be linked down below in the description. I got this off Amazon, so we're going to be using that to go inside of our crinkle book. You're going to need some polyester fabric. I got this from Hobby Lobby. It's about $7.99 a yard, and it has good stretch, which doesn't matter for this, but for other projects it does. It's kind of thick and I really like it. It's really soft. I believe it's about I think it's like 96% polyester. You're going to need your design. You're going to need 4 pages for this. I chose to make mine like a memory book. So it's like the whole first year of my daughter's life, pictures from the first year of her life. So I have them like this. I didn't show you the design process because it took me a long time to design. But basically I just have pictures, and I have some fake tape that I made, and I wrote the months where on top of the tape. And then I also did some that were like a Polaroid, and I did some where the tape is holding down the pictures. So hers is kind of like Disney princess theme in a sense, the background. So if you want me to show you how I made it, just let me know down below. I'm using sublimation paper. If you don't know what sub is, it's an amazing brand. You can get it on Amazon, but they actually also have their own website. So I will have their website down below. I do also have a coupon code, which will be listed down below for their website if you want to get some percentage off of your order. It's amazing. They have all the sizes you would need for sublimation. They have different weights as well. This paper right here is the 125G, so it's the thicker one. I also have the 120G. You can tell the difference in the back where it says ASAP. The logo is in different colors for the different sizes or weights. So I also have 8.5 by 11. This is mostly the brand that I use. So again, you can check down below in the description for a code to their website and a coupon code so you can save money, because I don't know about y'all, but I love to save money. And then you're gonna need some butcher paper, and a ruler is going to come super in handy. I have this Omni Grip acrylic ruler, and it helps me do straight cuts, and this is gonna come in handy after we sublimate our fabric so that we can make nice straight cuts and not have any white parts in our fabric. If you're gonna use a rotary cutter, you're gonna make sure you use a rotary mat, cutting mat underneath it so that you don't mess up any surface that you're at, and you don't also mess up your blade. So let's get to preparing our fabric to be sublimated on. So I already cut down my fabric so that I'm not working with a huge piece of fabric. And then we're just gonna flip it over. And we're going to take our fabric, bring it out a little bit, take some heat tape, tape it, bringing it to the back. This fabric, trust me when I say it can shrink and stuff, and you don't really want ghosting and stuff. So you just want to be wise. This might be a good instance where some adhesive spray might be super helpful. I've never tried it. There's like mixed reviews on it. But some people really like it and say it's really helpful. So with this fabric, I think that would be much better than heat tape. So I'm just going to tape the heck out of it. You can see with this one, I did a lot of tape. Down here, I'm going to tape horizontally, and then I'm going to cut it, and then I'm going to, once I cut it, I'm going to tape vertically. So this is just to keep it in place for right now. I'm going to turn it vertically, and then I'm going to get my ruler. Okay, get my ruler. And I'm just going to line it up, and then I'm just going to take my rotary blade, and I'm going to cut just a straight line. Once I do that, I'm just going to tape it this way. And you might think this is super extra, but this is just the best way I've found with this fabric to do it. You want to make sure you tape down every single spot, like every corner, every spot that can possibly lift up. Tape it down. So I'm going to do that for every single one, and then I'll be ready to take my design and my fabric, and I'm going to tape it down to the butcher paper. And the reason for that is that this fabric tends to kind of curl up in the heat press, and I'm just want to avoid that as much as I possibly can. I'm just going to tape it down in a few spots, not everywhere, but just like one in the corner, one in the middle, and one in the other corner. Let's see if this helps. Okay, so now I'm going to move to my heat press to press this at 385 degrees for 60 seconds. So we're going to take our design, make sure the paper is facing up. And we're going to take some butcher paper, put it on top, and we're going to press at 385 degrees for 60 seconds. So the butcher paper has some of the ink on it, so we're going to throw that to the side and not use it again. You're going to find a spot where you can grab a good part of the paper and just try to rip as quickly as you can go. And this is how it turned out. So now we're gonna move to our cutting mat and we're gonna cut these so that we can get ready to sew them. So we're gonna take our fabric and you're gonna wanna do this one by one, not all of them at once. You're gonna take your ruler, line it up with your design, and then take your rotary blade and cut it. So we're gonna do that for all of them. And it's okay if it's not super perfect because and you have a tiny bit of white because that's going to get sewn up in the seam allowance anyways. Don't be hard on yourself, especially when you're first learning to do stuff. Like, we all start somewhere. And I mean, I'm still learning to do a lot of things, so. And I'm learning to show myself some grace for sure. So now that we have all of our fabric cut out, we have it all trimmed, we're going to get our crinkle paper. This one is 51 inches by 118 is how much the pack is. How much comes in the pack, which was the best deal I found on Amazon for crinkle paper. So this is how it looks. It comes double packaged, definitely. Okay, so we're gonna cut pieces to match our fabric pieces. I'm cut two that are 12 by 6.5. 12 by 6.5. So first I'm gonna place it, line it up. I have another rotary blade that I use for things that are not fabric. So I have my bigger ruler and I'm just gonna line it up. And I'm gonna do, this side of my ruler is 6.5. So this is, I'm just gonna cut 6 there. And then I'm gonna go to 12. And then I'm gonna cut to 12 on this side as well. And then I'm gonna make sure I come over here and I cut. Make sure my pieces are lining up so that I can make sure I cut. Okay, so we have our two that are 12 by 6.5. I'm putting that to the side. I'm just gonna cut two that are the size of this ruler and then I'll cut it down once, I'm just gonna cut it down to the size I need. So I'm just cutting these to the size of my rectangle. So now I have all the pieces I need.